November 10th, 38 bloody degrees outside, sunny, still very, very cold. I will be staying inside where it's semi-warm inside my house. So I do have a bit of a sore throat this morning. I assume from being out in the cold a couple days ago. So I do have a lozenge in my mouth, so I apologize if you guys are picking up that. But I'm trying not to heck up a lung. Good morning, Mustang Sally. Or afternoon, sorry. So today is Thready Thursday. As you can see, I've moved the hoop again since last week. I am down in the bottom corner. This is actually the very bottom. This is the last row of the piece. So I'm now working my way across that bottom section, and then I'll move the hoop over and do the rest of that. Oh, it's cold. Winter's coming on us fast. I'm not liking it at all. Did you guys go see Nick? Is today the anniversary, Sam? Ugh. No wonder you guys have been so off. Yeah, and Mustang Sally, this is the 1 year. Well, sis, warm your nose, warm your toes. I may end up adjusting where my camera is sitting because it's like right here. Right at my forehead. For this particular kind of a project, it's going to be a constant struggle with, trying to get a good camera location for the stream, battling against the space that, that I need to actually do the project. Absolutely. Yeah. But he's a man, and see, just hit my phone again. He's got that pride thing working against him. I like being able to see this on video because, with it being right here in front of my face, I have a hard time seeing like what the images are looking like. But being able to see it on camera, I can see the snowy steps, and I can see the tree and the bushes, you know. But with it being right here in front of my face, it's so hard for me to really see. Makes me think of that, don't miss the forest for the trees saying. Right now, all I can see are the little trees. I can't. I have to go on, can't put it on camera to be able to see the forest that's actually there. Hmm. Don't know what I did down here, but somehow something is off. There, that's where it is. I'm not going to worry about it. I am not going to worry about it because down here in the muck, it's all the dark colors. So my error is going to blend in without an issue. I dislike um, having to frog my work. So if I can hide my mistake rather than taking it out, I am all for that. So you've never cross stitched, huh, Sally? Is it anything you've ever wanted to like learn? Wonder what my puppers are barking at outside. Maybe. Well, and there's different kinds. Um, there's what's called a stamped cross stitch. I am not a fan. Um, but you're cross stitching on linen, like it's typically it's a cotton. It's almost like a sheet material, um, and the pattern is actually printed on the fabric, and you just follow the pattern to know which color goes where. And then there's the counted cross stitch, which is what I'm doing, where you just have there's nothing. It's just a blank canvas, and you follow the pattern, and you're actually counting how many stitches of any given color. Um, some people like both. Some people like one over the other. Like I said, stamped cross stitch is not my thing. I don't enjoy it at all. Um, if you didn't watch my earlier videos, some of the counted cross stitch that you get in kits will come like this, and it's got colors printed on it. And this is theoretically is to help you not have to count so much, because like everything, I know it's in a bag, so it's hard, you're getting a glare, but you can see the purple right here. In theory, you just stitch everything that's purple. You don't have to count. The issue I have with this is it really trips my brain up, because in my mind, if it's stamped purple, then the color I'm using should be purple. But in kits like that, that's not the case. That purple is probably blue. And so it really plays games with my brain. But the ones that are like that, after you've stitched it all, you run it, that color is water soluble. So after everything's all stitched, you wash it, and then the color underneath goes away, and you only have the thread color that's left. This piece was what was like that when I started it, if you didn't watch the very beginning. And so I when I buy kits and they're stamped like that, I just wash them, because I don't like doing those either. Craft stuff is all packed. I understand that. At times I feel like, even though I've lived here, 6 years, like it seems like half my world is still in a box somewhere. And I would say start out small. Check your dollar store. Our dollar stores here have like little kits. They're little tiny ones, um, and they have everything you need except for like a hoop. But with something that little, you could stitch in hand. Um, Also, something I don't like doing. Um, just to test it out and see if it's something that you would like, because it's definitely not for everybody. Sis, I realized last night that yet again I did not grab my phone holder out of, ouch, I just stabbed myself, out of your car. It's still attached to your mirror. Yeah, I would never recommend for somebody starting any craft, um, to go to spend a bunch of money on something and and then discover they don't like it. That's a waste, especially if there's a cheaper way to do it. Um, but that would be my recommendation for sure, is check your dollar store. Um, 'Cause like I said, ours sells little kits. Oh, someone's talking about me. My ears are ringing. Who was it, I wonder? Could be anybody at this point, right? And it really is, it's not that difficult. You're literally just making X's um, with the thread, hence the name, cross stitch. Um, I'll be happy when I'm done with all these kits, so I can get back to using my tablet um, for patterning, because I hate doing it this way. I don't like the old school paper way. Um, but this is what your pattern looks like when you get it, um, and you just follow the legend. Um, so I'm working with this color here, and it's so I just find the symbol on the pattern, and then I count 1 2 1 2, move over one, down one, 2 stitches, 1 2 1 2. So that's where the counting comes in, is your 1 2 3 4 5 in a row, and you do 5. I know, and my best friend was trying to when she was testing out to see if she liked cross stitching. She picked out a little pattern um, out of one of my books, and it was this tiny little flag. I mean, it was tiny. I mean, like, maybe this big. You know, um, and she we got all the supplies out of my stash here, and she went home with it, and several months later, I finally got all of my stuff back, and it was in a flight across the room, as she like tossed it at me and said, "I am never doing that again." I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "I finished it because I started it, but I'm never doing that again." She hated it so much. The counting, she could not, I mean, she kept messing up her count. And so things would be not where they're supposed to be. And, especially on something as recognizable as a flag, you can't really fudge it, like I just did down here. Um, but yeah, I will never forget that. I'm never doing that damn thing. Never again. And she actually did, though, when she was pregnant with her oldest. Um, she did some stamped cross stitch bibs, and she seemed to like. I mean, I'm assuming she liked doing the stamped, because I didn't hear her complaining about it. But yeah, the counting, she was like, she just couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. And I tell people that all the time. It's like, just because you've got to find your own. You've got to find your own thing. While I find cross stitching to be very zen for me, it takes my mind out of out of the daily grind and relaxes me, it's not the same, obviously, for everybody. So yeah, try it out. And if you like it, great. If you don't, now you know. So like that one, there was four in a row. So I went 4 stitches this way, and now I'm going to go make it go in the opposite direction, finishing out that X. If I end up having people that actually want to learn how to cross stitch, I can do some tutorial stuff too. Just in and kind of teaching the basics of it. Um, Different kinds of stitches, like starting and stopping stitches, trips and tips and tricks to help keep your stitches flat and that kind of stuff. One person that used to, that I know was a cross stitcher and used to come in and chat all the time. Yeah, and that's the thing, Barbie, is that for her this was way too tedious, or like that fiddly word that I use when I'm doing my junk journaling, it was too fiddly for her, and it just wasn't relaxing at all. It's the tediousness of it that relaxes me, but ADHD is on board. So I have to do things that take a lot of brain power in order to calm my brain. So Barbie, did you watch the video of the Kelsey Creek um, farm that we visited? Bits and pieces. So yeah, as we were up by the ducks and the bunnies and stuff, we rounded the corner and there's a sign there that says "Bees coming, spring 2023." So it kind of gave you a shout out. It's like, look, they're gonna be working. They're gonna have bees. We thought of you when we saw the sign. Made a zillion wreaths, chalk painting furniture, making angels. I love my hive. Yeah. Oh, I'm waiting for spring. I want to see some Barbie streams on about bees, especially since Sam and her husband are talking about doing some hives and stuff at their place. She could probably use some educational stuff on beekeeping. And I agree. Yeah, Sally, I almost always travel with a project. Um, In fact, I packed this one up and I took it with me when I went over to the west side of the state, and it was in the suitcase the whole time. I never even took it out, but um, I usually travel with a project, especially sitting at a hospital because boring. Barbies. It's funny. Yeah, I think our warm days here are are over. I think we're done with warm days for now. Unfortunately, I'm not ready for the cold. I don't have any control over the cold. It's gonna get here when it gets here, and I think it's already here. In fact, I don't think we've been above 50 all week. Interesting. I always thought they did hibernate. See, I learned something new. Well, I usually do when I talk with when Barbie comes on because she's very open about answering questions about her bees. So it's always nice. Yeah, stink Chinook winds, man. And when our weather is um, like when we have really, really hot weather, everybody's always praying. Just if we just need one of the Chinook wind to come through, and it'll make things all better. But we seem to always be in a state of our weather sucks. Um, because I live in a desert, there's not, we don't get a lot of rain. We don't get a lot of snow. I mean, when we do get snow, we get a lot of snow, but it doesn't snow very often. Um, I might have just shot myself in the foot because we'll probably get slammed this winter. I'm guessing, given the fact of how cold it is already. Um, like I said, we've been under 50 all week, and we're not normally this cold until December. So we're probably in for a rough winter, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, during the summer when it's super super hot, it's like everybody prays for a Chinook to come through and give us some relief from the heat. Yeah, I love how Barbie's always willing to answer questions about the bees. You know, I imagine that sometimes she probably like rolls her eyes like, how do you not know that? Or whatever. But I kind of think about, I try to go into those kind of situations the same way I do, like, because I catch myself some thinking that sometimes, like, well, isn't that obvious? When people ask me a question. Um, but I try to remember from my perspective that unless it's part of my life, I don't really think about it so much. So, would it occur to me that bees don't poop in the hive? Probably not, because I don't raise bees. I would I would have assumed that in the winter they hibernate and they poop during the winter. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think bees play a valuable part in our ecosystem beyond just giving us honey. And I think beekeeping is kind of it's becoming a dying art. Not a whole lot of people are doing it anymore. In fact, when Sam said that her hubby were talking about doing it, I'm like, but he's allergic to bees. I was a little confused by that, but apparently it's his idea. So hopefully little Minnie Moose has learned her lesson about trying to pick them up. I should have a stash of hair ties in my craft room. I don't know why I don't. Exactly. The honey is a side bonus. It's yeah. It's not the primary. It's not their primary job, I guess. We need our flying critters to be out there doing the pollination stuff and spreading the good seeds around. Yeah. Well, I don't think whether you're I don't know necessarily. Of course I don't know. Again, um like um do the bees make honey regardless, or do they have to have a queen in order to make honey? You know what I mean? So you may not have a choice. You might get honey regardless. Don't want to sting. Yeah, and I've kind of always figured that stinging was more of a self defense mechanism than I'm just an asshole. People say that. You know, I mean, it was even part of a show about llamas. Careful, they spit, and it's like, well, llamas will only spit if you've pissed them off. It is a last defense for them. And if you've ever watched a llama after they spit, you'll see them like, bleh, bleh, with their tongue trying to get the taste out of their mouth. They don't enjoy spitting. but it's a very effective defense mechanism because it smells really bad. And it will dye your hair if you get it in your hair. I know this from personal experience. Um, I had a very awful green dye job in my hair that took about a month to actually get out after a llama spit on me during labor. Just a fun little story from my past. Gotcha. Okay. So they'll make honey regardless, but if you don't have a queen, they won't stay in the hive. Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I was helping a former friend. Her llama was having some difficulty delivering her cria, and so we were out there doing the farm thing and trying to help her deliver her baby. And so I was at the front end, and she was at the back end pulling baby. And Mama got pissed, and she just pulled her head back and yeah, big old green splotch hit me in the face, hit me in the head, got in my hair. And no matter what product I used, could not get that green out. I just had to like write it out and let it fade out on its own. Oh boy, sorry, having flashbacks to that day now. That was the person that I was talking about a couple days ago, that when the relationship fell apart, um, there was a lot of turmoil with her children, um, still wanting to have a relationship and her not allowing it. That was her. So that we did have some good times, but at the end of the day, the relationship was very one sided. And being on the outside of it now, I see that, that there was a lot of taking and not a lot of giving from that side of the relationship. It was one of those, I was always there for her when she needed something, but whenever I needed something, she was too busy. Um, one of those kinds of relationships. You found a planet. What do you mean? Color. I'm like, what color was I getting out? Oh, a planet emoji. Oh, see, on this end, all I'm seeing is a square. So I don't know if anybody else is seeing anything different. I know that as the creator, often what I see is different than what you see in StreamYard is different than what you see on YouTube. That's cool. The person that I'm making the journal for, she really liked those Oriental bags. Um, that have that gold, the gold overlaid flowers and stuff. So it's kind of cool that you gave me all some of those papers out of your new scrapbook books, since they have all the gold. Um, God, what I'm not. English is not working today. Anyway, since there's gold on those papers, I have to figure out how to use some of that in her journal, so it pulls that gold into it. Yeah, had a friend. Yeah, exactly, Barbie. It's that kind of a relationship uh, that I had. It would be like, or I'm going to the mall. What are you doing? Oh, nothing. You want to come with me? Sure. Okay, what time will you be here to pick me up? Huh? But yeah, exactly. And unfortunately, it took a long time for me to see the relationship for what it was. And even after the fallout, I didn't see it fully for what it was. It took a long time, um, a lot of healing, a little bit of therapy to really process that relationship and realize exactly how toxic it was, and that it never really was a true friendship. I think the key word there, Barbie, and the important word there is had. You're no longer in that relationship. Chances are she's probably found somebody else to fill your shoes. That is not where that one goes. And that one I have to take out. We're gonna frog it, frog it, frog it. And yeah, I agree, Sam. It is dumb. Um, there's a lot of frustrating things about StreamYard. That being just one of them. So like people that have memberships and are able to create their own emojis. Um, so I'll use Muzz for example. Like she's got um, an emoji that she calls petty leggings, and on when she's on StreamYard, what shows up in her chat when somebody uses it is next to their name, it'll actually say petty leggings instead of there being an image. Oh, wow. Wow. Hey, Coach, how are you today? What time is your 1K celebration today? Yeah, and the person for me, Barbie, she always has someone because she's a master manipulator. So she always has somebody, that's doing her bidding. She moves from relationship to relationship to relationship without, any kind of, hesitation. 9:20 Eastern. You always pick the random times. Huh? It always cracks me up. It's like 9:35, 9:20. So it'd be 6:20 my time. I like that. She wanted the same shift. You asked for the opposite. Love it. Hey, Sarah, long time no see. Is there a method to that madness of picking an oddball time? Just a weirdo. I'm gonna say, or is it just to be weird? I was when I was trying to figure out when I was doing the poll um, to try to get some feedback on what time would work best to do my discussion stream for Yellowstone. I was like, do I want to just do 7, 8, 9, or how do I want to do this? Of course, I've got to work around my dinner schedule. Um, but yeah, I was like, I ended up settling on 6:30 or 8, if I remember correctly. Me too. I'm binge watching season 4, um, just so that I can. I'm gonna do a season 4 recap, just because it's been so long um, since we've had. I mean, it's been like a year, I think, since season 4 ended. Um, so I'll do a live probably Saturday night, since season 5 starts on Sunday. I'll probably do a live Saturday night just to do a season 4 recap and get everybody refreshed on where we left off. And then show is on Sundays, and then Tuesday nights. Now, I don't want to do a recap because if we've all watched it, we all know what happened. But more of just kind of a discussion, like, whoa, did plot holes, and did they wrap anything up from the last season? Did any, things that didn't make sense? More along that line of, discussing the show. So calming in here, but are you on a break? Is that where you were going with that? Oh, have to be on a Zoom call. I missed that. It was right in between the two messages. No problem, Sally. Thanks for stopping in. Hit the like button. Um, yeah, and if I'm still in here when you get out of your Zoom call, pop back in. If not, same time tomorrow at noon Pacific Standard Time. I don't really have a topic for tomorrow. Um, so unless something comes up between now and then, it'll just kind of be let's just sit and shoot the shit. So I don't miss having to be on Zoom calls all the time. I've talked about that before with my the job that I left. Wednesdays was our meeting day, so there was out of the entire 8-hour shift, there was only 2 hours where I was actually not in a meeting. We would just go. I mean, leave one Zoom call, and we would, you know, stay in the same Zoom, and then but just the players would change. And I was like, ugh, I hated it. And then we'd break for lunch and come back and right back into another meeting. Hated Wednesdays. Don't miss having to be tied into tied into all of that. I will be logging into my local court um, for the first time since I quit my job on the 17th. See if the case that I'm have been watching is it actually going to go to trial, or are they going to continue it yet again? It's ridiculous how much I almost want to like go log into some other states and other counties to see if it's, just because I'm curious of if it's just as ridiculous as it is here. This case is 2 years old, roughly. And they haven't even like and it's still pending. Every time they go into court, it's just continued. And then it's continued. And it's continued again. And I'm like, what the hell is the holdup? The investigation is done. They already know that the person is guilty. So what the hell is the holdup? Just get on with the trial, get on with the sentencing, and quit tying up the damn court system. Irritates the daylights out of me. From my perspective, the most frustrating part about it for me is that, you know, hold on. Of course, as soon as I muted, the sneeze went away. Um, with it still sitting there and hanging out, the victims are stuck in limbo. It's like, give them some damn resolution. It's not going to be just, it's not going to be nice either way because the whole situation sucks. But it's not fair to the victims to be stuck, just waiting. Waiting to find out what's going to happen. Is there going to be prison time? If there is prison, how long? What does that mean in the long term? It's just to be stuck. I can't imagine what that's like. Nor could I imagine what it's like for the parents. You know. I was thinking I was going to finish out this thread that I'm working on right now, and then go ahead and head out for today. Um, I'm really, I am beat. I am beat to hell today. Kind of as a repeat of yesterday. I slept until my get the hell out of bed alarm went off, and ate breakfast. Made myself a cup of coffee. Fell asleep again before I even took a first sip of my coffee. And woke up to my, hey, post your live on TikTok and Instagram alarm. And I'm still really, really tired. So I think after this live, I'll probably set an alarm on my phone and go lay back down for an hour. See if I can just kind of snap out of this a little bit. And then I'll get up and figure out dinner tonight. Not my favorite thing in the world to do. I do not enjoy cooking. But since I don't work and I'm home, I don't really have an excuse for not cooking dinner. It's funny. Like I said, I've been binging season 4, And I don't remember what episode it was because I actually watched like 7 episodes last night. Um, but there was one where Rip makes it back to the cabin, and Beth is talking about dinner, and she's like, "So," he asked what was for dinner, and she goes, "Hamburger helper." Except we didn't have any hamburger, so I used the tuna instead. And Rip goes, "Well, babe, why didn't you just use the tuna helper?" And she goes, "They make tuna helper?" And it just made me laugh because um, I buy tuna helper and I use hamburger in it because my husband doesn't like tuna. Um, but there's different flavor profiles than there is in like the hamburger helper. There's different flavor profiles in the tuna helper. And yeah, I just switch it out and I make it with hamburger. But it just cracked me up because I was like, oh, yeah, that scene totally speaks to me. I need to spend some time figuring out how to make like the hamburger helper stuff, but make it from scratch because it'll be way better for me. And him, and him, um, to make it from scratch. I mean, and really all I got to do is figure out the seasoning profile. But all right, so I'm pin stitching this color. I'm done with that one. Boop. My dogs are barking again. I don't get it. I don't usually have this much activity out here during the day. All right. So, coming along by next week, I'll probably have a big portion of this done and we'll be moving the hoop again. Depends on how my hands hold up. My hands are really kind of sore. So I may rest them over the weekend. I'm not sure. But anyway, so tune in tomorrow. Again, unless something comes up in the next 24 hours, it'll just kind of be a bullshit session. Same time, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Hit the like on your way out if you didn't do it on the way in. Again, replay crew, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.